Why don't you describe how we met?
So, uh, very interesting actually. So we were at this local bar in Wynwood called the Sylvester. So I'm out there with just a group of my friends, and we're just enjoying the bar and everything it has to offer. And as I'm turning my head to go look for one of my friends who is entering the bar, I notice Rich here. He's sitting down, and he's just has his notebook out. And he's just taking just various notes. So I was curious, and my friend even asked me. He's like, "Hey, like," he asked me. He's like, "Hey, do you see that dude? He's just." It's like kind of a weird thing to do in a bar. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go up to him and ask him. So eventually I just came up to him and I asked him like, hey, like mind me asking what you were doing? And then he explained to me he's just taking notes and putting himself in a different situation than what he's used to. And I kind of really liked it. It just, like I mentioned earlier to you, kind of really like the idea of just being in like a situation you're not normally comfortable with, and like just pondering on just the things around you and things that have to do with yourself, because it kind of just opens up like your thoughts to
Yeah.
just a farther reach than what you're used to. So we exchanged the info, and here I am. Thank you for having me so far.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Yeah, that was a great night. The Sylvester, we so I went to Miami. This is all in Miami, and which was about I want to say like a month ago now. And I had went last year, and we stayed in like the design district. I was with two other friends, and the Sylvester is a place we went to, and we just really enjoyed it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back there. And then they got great music, just great vibes and people. So yeah, I took out my notebook, and I was just like, I was traveling by myself, so it's like, yeah, I'm gonna open up this notebook, see what happens.
Yeah.
And
Do
sure
you
enough,
normally
here we are.
travel by yourself?
What's that?
Do you normally just travel around by yourself like that?
For the most part, like, yeah, let's see, in February, I went to New York by myself.
Hmm.
Went to New York by myself in November. I don't have trouble traveling by myself because a lot of times, like, my schedule is very flexible. So I kind of have the personality where I'm just like, yo, I'm just gonna go, and I'm gonna have a great time. It doesn't
Yes.
matter if people are with me or not with me. Uh, it's too much logistics to try to coordinate with everybody else, and it's just like, yo, I'm gonna go. See ya.
I,
And so
I
I so I just do my own thing, and
I'm having that dilemma currently. Just all my friends, we just want to travel somewhere, but realize like trying to make everyone happy and fit everyone into it is just kind of a
yeah,
struggle. So we might have to take up your methods on that. Just go at it out by myself.
yeah.
I like
See,
that.
I have a very flexible schedule. I mean, just super flexible.
Mhm.
Um, and now, like, I have friends in places all over.
Mhm.
So, like especially New York. Like when I go to New York, I always have a place to stay and people to hang out with. So just like going by myself isn't a big deal because I'm meeting up with all my like New York friends too. Same thing, Denver and Miami. And this is part of the podcast too, strategically. I don't know if I've communicated this, but like it's all about meeting people. So then
Mhm.
you start meeting people all around the world. And sure enough, when you travel to these places, hey, now you have someone to talk to or reach out to, or so you're not experiencing the city and these areas alone. So
Okay, I
that's
can
part of it.
understand. So now, like, for example, you come back down to Miami, and then it'd be easier now for us to just go get like a genuine lunch.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
can be like, hey, Joshua lives here. Let's hang out.
I like that. That is true. Because I like I'm very big on meeting people, and like I would like to consider myself like a social butterfly. Like I'm definitely the one in my group who just likes to branch out, or if like
Yeah.
we get invited to different places where we don't necessarily know anyone, I'll just make an effort to at least like introduce myself and talk to someone. Just you never know how much in common you can have with someone if you don't take that first initiative to at least to talk to them, or just a simple hello, or like what do you do for a living, and so forth. So
Yeah. It's a very interesting thing. And I feel like as people grow older,
Mhm.
they're less inclined to want to meet new people or make new friends. What are your thoughts on, say, like social media too, where it's like it's so easy to be in your phone and to not make that effort to go talk to somebody?
Mhm.
Do you feel like that what you just said, right, to branch out and meet people, do you feel like that's a less common thing even more now with social media?
So I would think, like, let's say in a physical standpoint view, it definitely can hinder you just from making those sort of like personal interactions. I'm bigger on personal interactions instead of just like virtual, where it's just like I text or Zoom call and so forth. I believe like reading someone's body language and the way their tone is conveyed towards you in a more face to face means a lot more than through a text or through video. Even though like with Zoom, it gives the capability of just branching out and connecting with individuals probably that we knew and hadn't seen in a while, or just aren't able to see consistently.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's definitely more meaningful to just make the effort to go see someone in person or just meet him in person and just talk to them and figure out more so about what they who they actually are instead of just this whole camera to camera thing. Because at any given moment, I could pause this and or I could shut my screen off, and that kind of isn't a conversation at that point. That's just a
Yeah.
phone call, essentially. I've always been big into just seeing people's expressions and like feeling like more so like getting engaged in their emotions and just I like to get the feel of their body language too, because that's
Yeah.
a big thing. That's how I was taught to communicate to people. Just super into it, super just give everyone your attention and at least give them the attention that they're trying to receive from you as well. Social
Yeah.
media social media has been good, especially obviously like it's definitely increased now with after all of us going through quarantine. it's,
Mhm.
it's been it's definitely become king in a sense where most people just rely to it now, and then those who have lost like their social interaction, like their ability to socially interact with others, because after you go 2 years of not interacting with someone, you kind of just get used to the whole being behind a screen or scrolling and tech and like commenting and so forth. So
Yeah.
I think it's crucial to bring that back because it just brings this better connection in the individual. You're able to just understand people better than just liking or commenting on a post or agreeing with it or
Yeah.
sharing. So it's kind of the way I
Yeah.
see
I like that. Nonverbal communication is very underrated.
it.
It
And
very is.
I've recently developed that more too. Just I've didn't realize that just the manner in which like you face someone, or like if you're I learned a big thing from one of my really good friends. He taught me that just when you talk to someone, it's appropriate to like shoulders face forward. And he's seen it. He showed me an example. Like we were at
Mhm.
a local bar, and he showed me. It's like, hey, look at these two people who are talking. You can tell the individual is not interested because she has her shoulders facing elsewhere or her knees
Yeah.
facing away. It's small things like that that I just recently now start to look at, which before it wasn't necessarily that I wasn't unaware, but just now more so I'm just more focused on, because it's just I want someone when I'm speaking to them be comfortable, and then I want them to think I'm comfortable speaking with them. So you are right, nonverbal communication is huge, and that's
Yeah.
not
It
something
is.
you can get from behind a screen. Like it's
Yeah. Yeah. And eye contact with
mhm.
screens too. Is it like, are we making eye contact,
Yeah, that's
or are it's like this? I was listening to something the other day about like what direct eye contact does and that like connection. But then it's like there's this third party with the screens and everything that like it kind of shields that in a way.
well, I also think I agree with that. I also think it's just you got to think about it this. If you look at the position of your camera, it's very hard. It's just supposed to get like the overall view of of like just the broad spectrum of your vision.
Yeah.
But just like if I don't know if you work from home or if you do like just some sort of work from anything via screen, via like your laptop, it's very hard to sometimes concentrate because along with the Zoom meeting, you can also have many other pages open up at the same time. So are you really giving someone direct eye contact when you're talking to them here? Like it's kind of a half-half. And like you said, the third party, it just still creates this other barrier where even as you're like trying to look at this individual, whoever you may be speaking to, it doesn't feel super genuine at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Again, it kind of goes back to that face-to-face interaction. You can feel the tension between individuals, whether it's good tension or bad tension. It's just the interaction that makes the conversation as a whole a lot better. This face-to-face, this camera thing that we do, it kind of like negates that. So it ends up just being another recording of each other. We're just kind of like looking at each other.
Not to extend this subject too much more, but I think what I'm curious too is like we now know that remote capability is like it's in the deck, or it's like it's always on the table. It's always possible now. And so there's going to be a big push to enhance this experience, the same things that we were just talking about. So like technology will get better and better around these things that we're saying, where eventually it may be like holograms of people, or like 3-dimensional, or like just the technology around it. Now that we know remote is possible and everybody can do it, like the technology is just going to increase because there'll be a higher demand for that connection.
So kind of have you used the Quest, like a Quest 2, or like
I haven't used it yet, but yeah, that's certainly where I'm thinking about, is like augmented reality, virtual reality type of thing. Yeah.
So so with a Quest and the metaverse and like you said, augmented reality, that's essentially where it is, because now it's just convenience at this point. Like people rather stay at home in the comfort of home, but then any interactions that they're seeking or just any sort of entertainment that they may be looking for, it's just easier it's eventually going to be easier to just put it on. Kind of like you ever seen the movie Ready Player One?
No, but I keep hearing about it.
So I'll keep it short. So essentially, like when Zuckerberg came out with the idea of like the metaverse and then using augmented reality, a lot of individuals referred back to this movie called Ready Player One, and it's said basically it's this Earth in the future where just now everyone basically lives their lives, and everything about their lives is through this thing called the Oasis, which people refer to it, like people compare it to the metaverse, which is just this augmented reality where you put on this headset and you can interact with anyone, and everyone can be this different character, and live this different persona than who they are. And actually,
they become an avatar of themselves.
Yeah, you basically you create your own avatar. So with what you mentioned earlier, eventually that's like more an entertainment point of view in which it'll go up to.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like it's just the idea of being.
But that technology can be applied or applicable to meetings and stuff like this too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like the technology can be applied across the board. Yeah.
Imagine like you and I just hop on, and it's like essentially like I'm giving you a real handshake. Like eventually it'll be that, and I'm pretty excited for that, just because like you said, you travel around a lot. Imagine just at any given point, just being able to just sit down with your friends, or just actually just getting now that same feel that I like in the personal interaction, but somehow it's become far more advanced with technology that now you get that same experience. So
we might have to circle back to this, but I think it's in our lifetimes, even in this upcoming decade, we're going to see so much technological change.
I agree.
It's interesting.